See, the cross to me isn't the revelation of my sin. The cross is actually the revealing of my value. See, in the world, if I'm going to pay for something, I'm only going to pay what something's worth. Like if I were to sell somebody a house and a realtor and say, listen, this house right here, I want you to give me, $2.5 million for this house, but it's only worth $70,000 in the market. It doesn't make any sense, and you'd never give somebody that for it because it's not worth it. And a car is the same. If you were going to go buy a new car, and that car you knew it was worth $22,000 brand new, right? And that was the sticker price on it, but they wanted to charge you 4 times that. You would never do it because it wasn't worth it. Well, if something on the earth, the price that you pay for it determines its value, how much did heaven pay? How much did Jesus pay to get us back? I mean, heaven went bankrupt. So the value of a person is determined by the price that was paid for. And when you see the price that heaven paid for you on the cross, your whole life will change.
And now, go to the garden for a moment. Father, let this cup pass from me. Let this cup pass from me. Drops of blood. Let this cup pass from me. These preachers, they say, oh, Jesus didn't want to go to that Roman cross. That's a lie. Oh, Jesus, these charismatic preachers. Jesus was afraid of the devil. Blasphemy. Oh, that Roman cross, that whip, he didn't want to go to it. Absurd. God's fierce hatred for all that is evil was in the cup. A wooden cross? All men are under the fierce, just wrath of God because of their vile wickedness. Someone had to drink down that wrath. Jesus Christ on that tree bore the guilt of His people and stood in their law place. Then all the holy, just hatred, wrath, judgment, and justice of God like blinding white light came crushing down on the head of His only begotten Son. Have you never read, and it pleased the Lord, Yahweh, to crush Him? God the Father laid His hand on the head of His only begotten Son, and He slaughtered Him. Someone had to die. You see, this is the cross that all these modern day preachers put in the back of the store and not in the storefront window, because it's a shameful thing. It's a horrid thing. It's a terrible thing. Some of you are looking at each other as though, I've never heard anything like this before. Absolutely, and that's why the cross has so little power in your life. This is a horrid thing, a vile thing, not the kind of thing you wear around your neck. Someone had to die. Justice had to be satisfied. To demonstrate love, God had to put away sin first. And there was only one way to do it, the death of the only begotten Son of God. He died. But Christ died. Those words should be enough to break your heart into 1,000 pieces and to cast you to the floor in worship. Christ died for you. But Paul tells us, Scripture tells us, that He did not remain dead. It is not just the death of Jesus Christ that saves us. It is the resurrection of Jesus Christ also that has a great part in this story. If He had remained dead, there would be nothing. There would be no hope. All things would be dashed to pieces. But God has vindicated His only begotten Son by raising Him from the dead. And in raising Him from the dead, God has set His seal and told us, declared publicly through the resurrection of Jesus Christ, that His sacrifice was sufficient to atone for the sins of His people. Christ died, Christ rose again from the dead, and Christ ascended 40 days later to the right hand of His Father.